Hi everybody, Jackson here. Welcome back to Endeavours for Sunday the 29th of June. So, as always, there'll be timestamps to skip and stuff that you don't want to listen to. If you're just looking for one of these options here, I'll link timestamps for each one. So before I get into Endeavours themselves, I just need to point out that in the near future, in the next couple of days, the Vengeance campaign will be returning to Cyrodiil. So if you're not familiar with the Vengeance campaign, they went through it a little bit in the June survival guide. I'll link this in the description, and I will link in the description the changes they make to these skills. So what they do is, this is basically, it's some sort of Cyrodiil test for what I assume they're going to change in the future. Even though it's a test now, I guarantee they're going to add these changes to Cyrodiil, like, permanently. I don't know, unless there's, like, super duper kickback from it, which I don't think there will be, because I think a lot of people played this when it came out last time. A few months ago, there was a Vengeance campaign. I honestly very much enjoyed it. It basically, it puts everyone at the same level. There's no... you don't have to worry about gear, you don't have to worry about, like, leveling up skills. Everything is the same for everybody. Everybody's health is the same, everybody's stamina is the same. You just have 3 skill lines that you can choose from in this case. There's going to be your class skills, which are going to be changed, like they're balanced around, like, a certain style. There's no morphs or anything like that. And then you've also got your weapon skills, which are also going to be changed. And then the assault and support skill lines are also going to be there, and they're going to be changed. There's a cap on AoE skills up to 3 people. And same thing, I think, with heals. I think they're capped to 3 people as well. Basically, countering the massive, like, ball group issue that I think Cyrodiil has at the moment. It's just going to become a Zerg issue. The same thing, like, you can't beat massive Zergs anymore. But, you know, at least it's a change of pace to what it is right now. And, like, basically everybody can, they can, what's the word? You can participate in PvP without requiring, like, a crazy amount of grind, because most PvP builds these days, like, to be able to do well, you need, like, very specific setups, and they require a lot of, like, getting all the gear and shit like that. Whereas this, you can just jump in on any character, like even low-level characters, you can just jump into it, and you can just kind of have fun. Because there's going to be a Golden Pursuit as well, so lots of people are going to be trying to get the Golden Pursuit done. I suggest, if you are going to do this, you want to get into it early, because that's when it's going to be the most busy. I find PvP is the most enjoyable for people who don't like PvP too much when it's busy, and you've got so many people there. Like, it's much more chaotic and enjoyable, I think. But yeah, everybody's going to be different. Some people are going to like this campaign, some people probably won't. I think if you've wanted to try PvP, but you've just, like, been afraid to, this is definitely the best time to do it. I think for those who don't PvP often, this is the best time of the year to try it out. Because it's just chaotic. There's just... there's no, like... Skill doesn't matter as much. It does... It matters more. But, like, there's so many players in the early stages when Vengeance comes out that it really doesn't matter. You can just follow a massive group and just fuck around and have fun. Because there's no, like... There's no super crazy... like, long-term rewards for doing this. It's just to have fun. I think that's the best time to play Cyrodiil, when there's no real, like, long-term implications to what you do. I think that's the best time, personally. So I'm pretty sure this will happen in about a day and a half's time, because it's 10 AM EST 30th of June is when it begins. So I assume 10 AM EST, because that's when every other event seems to start. We'll see. But it will be in the near future. I guarantee that, because yeah, June 30th. Now, if you want to know what the changes are to each of the skills, I also have some... Hyperiox does some he goes into each of the skills and how they change. It's very brief, but it gives you all the information you need about them. And, yeah... So the main stuff to know is everybody's stats are going to be the same. It's always going to be, I think it's going to be 70,000 health or some crazy shit like that. But everyone's damage is going to be different. It's, like, completely different to what you're used to with the regular skills right now. And all the skills are the same. There's no morphs. And yeah, everybody's damage is the same. And they give you, they're going to give you, like, all the weapons and all the siege weapons and all that stuff, so you don't even need to get all that stuff. It's just everything is handed to you on a silver platter. So I know some people don't really like that, but some people, I personally think it's good for Cyrodiil. Yeah, I know not everyone would agree, but yeah, everyone's different. You can't, and you shouldn't always agree with everybody. So yeah. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into endeavors themselves. So it's a 10 seal set. Logs of Wood, Patrolling Horror, Weapon Enchant, Recharging, Public Dungeon Group Event, and Casting the skills with, this is basically just reskinned skills. So I'll talk about this one first. Personally, any of these 4 options here are fine. I'm not going to discuss this one because I think it's pretty unreliable. I try to avoid this one when I can. It is base game, but basically Patrolling Horrors, you can find these things in Cyrodiil in the Imperial City here. Now, there's 2 in each of the zones, right? And they're basically world bosses in essentially ESO's Wild West, where this is a place where like players can fight each other. And you know, it is exciting. You know, you go in and you're fighting a boss while you're fighting players at the same time. But for reliability's sake, it sucks. You can go and like almost get a kill on a world boss. Like you can be fighting it for like a couple of minutes, and then out of nowhere a player can just rock up, gank you, kill you in 2 hits, and then they take the boss for themselves, and you're just left with nothing, and you have to try again. So as far as reliability goes, I avoid this one like the plague, because it is so like reliant on players not fucking everything up for you that it's just, I find it better to do these ones anyway, because they wander around. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass to find, sometimes they're not spawned, so you got to wait for them to respawn. Any of these options here, you don't really have those issues. So I'd just say avoid this one like the plague. But yeah, very easy to get to. You just queue into Imperial City. This way, you just got through the ladders into each of the districts, and you just run to the bosses. And they're very easy to spot. They're huge, and when you're stealth, they have like big blue rings around them. So very difficult not to see when they're up. But like I said, players make it a problem, and sometimes they don't spawn. Sometimes it can be a pain in the ass to find. That being said, they don't have a leash range. They follow you around as soon as you get into combat with them. So you can like pull them to a corner of the district and kill them that way. But you never, you can't attack them from the towers themselves. Like you can't range attack them from up there. It actually prevents you from doing that. So you need to hop down, and in that case, you are not safe in any way, no matter where you are from players or from the enemies. So yeah, I'd just avoid this one personally. All right, so I'll go with this one first. I would personally go these 3 here if you can, because I find these to be the quickest. But Logs of Wood is fine if you don't have anything for active skill styles, because this is best done with the DLC or spending a couple of Seals of Endeavor or keys. It just depends. So I'll go through this one first. So alright, so firstly, let's discuss what a skill style is. So any skill in the game that has this icon here is something with the skill style. So they're just skill recoloring. Skill recolors, that's all they are. So if you click on this, it'll show you the ones you have available. So if you have Gold Road, it's probably some of the easiest ones to get. So going through the quest line, you've got Soul Trap Orchid Purple here, and then you've got Vigor Soothing Blue from With the Netch. So if you complete second area of scribing, the first quest, complete Wing of the Indrik, the second quest, and then complete Wing of the Netch, you get Vigor Soothing Blue. It's probably the easiest one to use in the game, but you can also use Soul Trap. You just need a target. So these 2 here, you click on them, and it'll show a little paintbrush. That's to indicate that it's active. And all you do is literally just cast it, and that's it. Very easy to do this one. Now, if you don't have Vigor, but you've got Soul Trap, this one here, you can use this one instead. And all you have to do in this case is instead of casting it on yourself, you just cast it on a big target like this, and just keep spamming it. Soul Trap's good because it deals all its damage over time. It doesn't deal it all at once, so you can keep spamming on a single target and not have to wait very long. Because otherwise, if it's like a direct damage ability, you use it on a weak target, and you have to go and find another target because they die too quick. Whereas this one's here, it's not too bad. So if you don't have Gold Road, your options are a little bit... Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that. I forgot they don't spawn until you're like level 45. Okay, so the skill styles I would use as well if you don't have access to Gold Road. So firstly, the only base game one, because all the other ones basically require you to have some pay-gated content of some kind. The only ones that aren't the case is going to be the Undaunted styles. So these ones here. The only problem is they require quite a few undaunted keys to get access to. So the easiest ones to get to use early on is going to be these three here and this one. These all are like skills that you get very early in the skill lines. Uppercut's the first one, Twin Slashes is second, Snipes first, Regeneration second. It's like 4 levels into that weapon skill line and you've already got it. I wouldn't use this one. I wouldn't really use these either just because they take so long to get. Wouldn't use this one either just because 40 keys as well. But this one's really easy to use. So, I mean, if you've got high level two-handed, this one's the best because it doesn't require a target. Same with this one. But yeah, 40 keys is annoying. But yeah, whichever one you get, all you got to do is just like find a target and just spam this thing on them. For something like Snipe or Uppercut, you probably want to use a target dummy in a house if you can. Because they do more damage than Twin Slashes usually. But yeah, any of this stuff, if you need, use a target dummy for this. I think that's the best way. But yeah, so these are the only ones you've got access to in base game. Yeah, what I would probably choose is just Twin Slashes or Snipe, one of those two. As for the other options, let me go through them. So in the store, if you go to Seals of Endeavor and you type skill, anytime there's skill styles here, they will show up if you just type in skill. Now, unfortunately, last set of the crown crates that was here, there was a 2,000 steel one that you could get. Now, unfortunately, the only things are 3,600, and this is the only one I would get if you're going to do this. It's the second skill in the bow skill line, and yeah, 3,600. That's a lot to spend. But if you don't have anything at all, and you just want something to be able to do this, because this Endeavor, as long as you've got one of these, it's really easy to do. You just basically, as soon as you log in, you just slap this on, and they just cast it a bunch of times, and you're done. So spending this much seals, it's debatable, but it's your call to make. But you're spending those seals to now get small amounts of seals each day, like really, really easy and really fast. It's like without much work, and that can be really helpful for some days where all the other options are shit, and it just makes it easier for the long run. But it's a lot of an investment to be able to get that. All the other ones that you have available to you all require DLC of some kind. So let me give you an example. So let's look at this here, right? So Lilac Purple Accelerate. Let's take a look at this. So, rarely from Psijic Portals, right? Psijic Portals, you need Somerset to be able to access those. Assassin's Blade. This is another one that came from... this was free as well, technically. But this came from a Crown Store item that was free if you had 2 max level characters. So not everyone's probably got access to this. And it was a little while ago. So, yeah, especially if you're new, you probably won't have access to that. One of these is, I believe, from the questline for... the scribing stuff, so I don't think you can get that. Dusk Purple Vigor of Dawnbreaker. What does this come from? Oh yeah, see, Miramore. So Gold Road required stuff. So I guess this is another one that you can get for base game, but that's a lot of fucking archival fortunes. So yeah, I'll link this in the description. This gives you a list of all the different ones. But most of the ones you can get outside of like quest lines for Gold Road and like achievements for Gold Road, they require you to get like 5 fragments. I'll see if I can find one as an example. I think Puncture Lava Burst. Yeah, so you need all these fragments here, right? Some of these are from areas that are base game, but the Cauldron, that's a DLC, a paid DLC. Sunspire, that's a paid DLC. Sistress, that's High Isle, that's a paid DLC. I'm pretty sure Martyr's Folly is also a paid DLC. Is it? Let me have a look. Yeah, it's in the Deadlands. So you need like a whole bunch of DLC to be able to get this one. So that's just an example. Usually anything outside of those options that I suggested there, they all require some kind of pay-gated stuff. So it kind of sucks. But yeah, if you can't do this one, don't stress too much. You can just do some of the other options, which are pretty easy. Okay, recharging a weapon enchantment. I assume most people are familiar with this one. Is go into your inventory, go to your weapons, and then you can right click and go charge, or there's a hotkey as well. In this case it's F for keyboard. It'll look a little bit different for console, but you just go into the inventory, scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you'll find your weapons that require the recharging. So as far as soul gems go, I assume most people have tons of soul gems lying around, but if you don't have any at all, my suggestion is you can either talk to a mystic in this game, which sell them, so you can legally do this using soul gems with empty or filled soul gems to take away that. I guess you could just pay extra gold to increase convenience there. But you can buy a empty one. You can go out and just kill any random enemy with soul trap on. I mean, you could do that. You could do both of these at the same time doing that by using like Orchid Pop or Soul Trap, for example. But yeah, just got to make sure this is active while you're doing it, and then it'll work. I wouldn't personally do that though. I wouldn't buy it. I would just steal it. So Starfall Arcana right here. This way, Sean, that you start with, so everybody's got easy access to this. Just travel to this area here with Mistress Aramil in it. There are a bunch of soul gems in this place, and usually you can snag one of these in stealth without anyone seeing it. You just got to wait for them to move around a bit, or you can just do the old cloak with a Nightblade and just steal it. Even if they're like right in front of you, you'll be able to do it without getting a bounty. And then do the same thing. Just go to the beach where there's mud crabs all over the place and just kill a mud crab with soul trap on them, and that's it. I think you can also the rats. I think you can put soul trap on those too. And there's a bunch of rats on the beach too. You could use probably. Yeah, just do something like that. But I assume most people are familiar with soul gems. You can also kill delve bosses, world bosses, dolmens, all that shit. They all drop soul gems like the bosses do. Or in the I think the dolmens for the chests do as well. But yeah, it's just tons of options there. Alright, so I'll just talk quick about cutting logs of wood. This did come out the other day, but I might as well talk about it now too. So while you're doing the other stuff, you should keep an eye out for all the different woodworking materials. So these just spawn in every zone just all around the place. They spawn in predetermined locations. So if you know where one is, it might be there, you can just check again. Now, as far as which ones spawn, it depends on two things. So it depends on your character level. So if you're max level, like this one, for example, you'll get Ruby Ash as a 50% chance. And the other 50% chance is based on your character's crafting level. So if you go into craft woodworking, this passive here, I'll put your cursor over this and it'll tell you what the other 50% chance is. So in this case, send a Ruby Ash. So I'm max level, so I get Ruby Ash. I'm maxed out here, so I only get Ruby Ash. But what you can do is you can check this thing here. I'll link this in the description if you want to have a look yourself. It goes through all of the different types of rough wood nodes that you can find. And if you see them listed here, or like if your character's like a certain level, whatever these levels here are, whatever your character's level is, these are the ones that will spawn as the 50% chance. I don't know what happens, like it doesn't say level 15 here. I don't know exactly what happens. I'm pretty sure it's still maple if it's like level 15. I don't know what happens in between. But yeah, I assume it doesn't matter too much. There's not going to be many cases where that's going to be a problem. But yeah, just put your cursor over this and it'll give you a image that shows you what each of these nodes look like. Every single node of that type looks like that. So every maple rough wood node will look like this. So it's good to have an understanding of what each one looks like, so that you know what to look for when you're running around looking for wood nodes. Because while you're doing these other endeavors, it's a good idea to also be looking for these wood nodes, just to cut down the time it takes later on if you're going to do this one. And in this case, the Ruby Ash that you just saw, that's exactly the same one. So once you know what one looks like, you know what they all look like. And Ruby Ash is probably the best one here, because Ruby Ash sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, you saw how different the hue of color was there compared to everything else. And that's the case for like every single zone that you go to, basically. Minus like maybe the Deadlands, but even then the Deadlands doesn't spawn regular wood nodes. It spawns different nodes that have a different color. So that's not really a problem there either. So my advice, if you can, get a character with all the max level crafts sorted, so that you only get like the red max level stuff, because it's so much easier to see in the environment as opposed to anything else. If you still struggle, you can get things like Keen Eye Wood that causes it to like have a highlighted effect when you get too close. But once you're experienced with like what they look like, I don't think you really need to worry too much about this. But yeah, this can help too, especially with like alchemy ones, because some of the alchemy plants, they really blend in with the environment sometimes. Yeah, that's a personal preference thing. There's another one. Yeah, so I will link this add-on in the description too. This is called Harvest Map. I assume most people know about this one. But every wood node that you find on the map, it'll put like a little pin on the map for you. It'll save one for you. And so if you come back here later, you can check these areas, and they may have another wood node that you can use for whenever these endeavors come up. Holy shit! Look at all the fucking the blacksmithing ores there. Holy moly! Yeah, you can see sometimes you can find a ton of stuff in quick succession. Sometimes you just get bugger all. Like it's very random. But in this case, fucking hell, if only it was a blacksmithing or endeavor. But yeah, I'll link this add-on in the description too, and you can customize it, right? So I can put down blacksmithing stuff as well, so you can see some of those are the ones that I've found in the past. As you can see that one. But yeah, I'll link this in too. All right, so now I will just discuss the last good option, which is the public dungeon group events. So there is only one place I ever suggest you do this one, because the public group event here spawns way faster than anything else in the game. Every other one respawns in 5 minutes. This one spawns in like 30 seconds. It's amazing. So you only want to use this. Now, I will just go in and demonstrate what you need to do here, but if you haven't been here before and you need to be able to access this wayshrine for the first time, I will also go through that as well. I just don't want to waste everyone's time there. But I'll show you how it's very easy to get access to this for the first time. It just requires like traveling to a house and just taking maybe like a 2 or 3 minute trek across the desert. It'd be quicker if you got a maxed out mount. But yeah, as a base, like it will at worst take you like a couple of minutes. All right, so this is where the group event is located. So it's up right now. So the pattern is scarabs. So if you can stand on that one over there, please. That one. That one. Yep. Yep. Yep, beautiful. So scarabs, and then spiders, and then scorpions. Now you can do this on your own. You don't need people. As long as you hit each one in order. So both scarabs, both spiders, and both scorpions. What that will do is spawn these enemies here. All you have to do is at least like hit one of the enemies, or just be in combat with them, I think. And that will count. Oh, accidental ult. I'll just cover it again, right? So, nope, scarab. Scarab on that side. Scarab. Yep. And now spiders. These two. Yep. And then scorpions in the middle. And then they spawn, and you just kill them. But they're public dungeon bosses, so they're a little bit tough. But like, as long as you've got decent gear, you'll be able to handle them. And in most cases, there's going to be other people doing the same thing. So just to show you how quick you can do this, I'm just going to bring up a stopwatch, right? Because you're listening to me talk right now. So we'll start it up. Oh, oops. So I'll just to show you. So it's probably going to take another 15 or 20 seconds for it to be up, right? Because I've just been talking a little bit. And it should be up about now. Okay, I've almost got it. Yeah, so again, scarabs. Yep, that's good. Spiders, spider over there, and then scorpions in the middle. Okay, so getting here for the first time, this is where it's located. You just come through here, as I showed you before. But if you haven't been here before, there is a house over here called Sword Singer's Redoubt that you want to look up through Home Tours. So you go Home Tours, browse homes, go down to S. It's called Sword Singer's Redoubt, this one here. So just travel to one of these. Doesn't matter which one, just as long as there's a Sword Singer's Redoubt that you can travel to. There'll be heaps here in Browse Homes, as long as you check Browse Homes. They don't show up too much in Recommended. So once you're here, just turn around and leave the home. Alright, so from the house, you'll rock up in a place called Startakalum. It's in the northeastern side of Alika Desert. So you'll notice Lost City and the Natatumb is pretty damn close. So all you have to do is get out of this area here. There's hostile enemies, but if you just travel through this area over here, you'll avoid like most of them. So you've come up here. There's like one enemy here, usually, or like a couple. If you've completed the quest here, there'll be no enemies. It's all friendly people. But yeah, usually there'll just be a few enemies in the way, and that's it. And they're all just basic ass NPC enemies. So you get the wayshrine here, and then from here, all you have to do is just come through here. What I would do is come over here, get this wayshrine first. Yeah, this one's fine too, but yeah, this one's the closest wayshrine. And then you just travel into Natatambu, just travel to that group event that I showed you, and just either wait or just do it when it's up. And that's everything. So if you've got any other questions, as always, just give me a holler. yeah, it's pretty good set, this one. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you all next time. Appreciate the support as always. And take care for now. And have a good rest of your weekend and all that.